This is a speaking podcast with Abdul Samad. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Samad, it's been an absolute pleasure to get this opportunity to talk to you. We at SpeakIn are today going to bring forward the beautiful personal journey that you've had of growth and transformation through years of toiling, challenges, successes, opportunities, and as you say, look at the brighter side and not the challenges. The opportunities await. So let me start, Mr. Samad, with the first question. Take us back to your journey, where you started from, your background, and how you got to where you are today.
Okay, first and foremost, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my journey to where I've reached up to today. I'm not a highly intellectual guy. I'm just a normal working people, just like other Singaporeans on the streets. I'm a graduate of diploma in mechanical engineering in Singapore Polytechnic. I started my working life back in 1995 when I joined a power station in Jurong Island, which is called Pulau Seraya. So at that point of time, I was just there as a technical officer, learning how to operate boilers, learning how to operate turbines. That was during my first 2 years. After the 2 years, I decided to move out of that company and join Singapore Power. So long story short, why I'm today a union leader, it started back in 2003 when a senior union leader came and approached me and tried to convince me, small boy. I still remember he called me small boy. Why are you not joining the union after 6 years you have been in the company? I told him, uncle, why should I be joining a union when I just I get my job done, I get my salary? So he said, yeah, at least you support this uncle, small boy. I said, okay, fine, for the sake of you being like a big brother to me, I'll support you and be a union member. So 3 years after that, then my colleagues told me, Samad, we want you to be our representative at the workplace. And at that point of time, there was already a union leader in my workplace, right? So I told him, why should I be disrupting someone's journey as a union leader? I said, no, we want you. Right? Because we believe that you can be the one that speaks for us and you deliver what you actually can do at the workplace. So I told my fellow colleagues, okay, fine. If that is what you all want, let all of you decide. Let's go through the proper process of election and you decide who you want. So long story short, I went through the election and I won the election against him for twice over a 4-year period. And then after this is where I am today, going through an election of being the voice of the workers, speaking up for them at workplace, identify what are the welfare benefits, what are the things that I can do for them. So it started back in 2006. I became a union branch official, we should call it the lowest grade of all. And today I am actually the General Secretary of my own union. And I'm also the Vice President of National Trades Union Congress Central Committee, which takes charge of close to about slightly above 1 million of workers in Singapore. So this is where I am in 2021. I was appointed as a nominated member of Parliament to speak on behalf of a labour movement just for workers itself. My language is about normal Singaporeans. As I said, I don't have a degree, my English is not so good, but I believe my language, the way I speak, it connects to all the Singaporeans on the ground.
What a beautiful story. I mean, that personifies, Mr. Samad, as we say, the world over we said, we very famous through decades was the American dream, but I think let's look at the Singaporean dream, which is evolving and shaping up into wonderful leaders like yourselves. And you clearly act as a benchmark, as an icon, as someone that the younger generation will look at across cultures and across genres. May I just now take you to the next question, particularly, I mean, you're very, very focused on creating learning, creating a better place for work for Singaporeans across the areas of expertise. What are the 3 lessons you would give to people who are starting their careers, the new age Singaporeans who are coming up and finding their hold in the professional journey?
Okay, the world of today's career is unlike 20 or 30 years ago when I started working. And it's a totally different kind of landscape. You need now is but I shouldn't say the above, the acceleration of technology makes a worker, or every Singaporean out there needs to be updated. What can actually technology do for you? What can actually technology enables you, enhance you in terms of your workers' output? It's not just about what you learn in theory, in the tertiary, but what you can do from the knowledge that you have, what you can do from the technology, new way or modes of data analytics, artificial intelligence. These are the things, tools that you should use for yourself when you go explore into the working life. Don't be aim for up too high at the start. What you should need, every Singaporean worker, is to seek the necessary experience, get the exposure, get the experience they require, and you grow along the way. The key to all of this, in order for you to grow, always be willing to unlearn what you have learned, and then you start to relearn what are the new skills, what are the new knowledge that is required, so that you can value add yourself for your employer. If you apply these two basic skills of unlearn and relearn, be rest assured, I believe you can go as far or as high as the sky. And this is what I keep to myself, because what I did 25 years ago is not the way it's the same today. I have to find ways. Even now, moving another 10 years of my career, I should start to think through how do I change the way I do work? How do I change the way I get outcomes to my work? If I don't do that, then I know my job will be redundant. Me as a worker will not add any more values, and I can't be demanding anything extra from my employers, from my fellow colleagues.
That is wonderful. Absolutely. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. So, you've had a beautiful career, and you of course have faced multiple challenges. You would have surpassed a lot of them. And as they say, a journey is never by itself, right? You would have had coaches and mentors, people you've met along the way. Of course, family plays a big role in that as well. Tell us something about your journey and the kind of mentors and support that you've received all your life.
Okay, in my working world, I do have a few mentors, or colleagues that actually guide me through along my work. But along what is most important is notwithstanding the mentors that is available. As an individual, I always took the extra steps to seek knowledge, to seek information on my own. Because as much as a mentor can guide me, that may not actually fulfill what I want to do. Right? Being myself as someone consultant, guiding people, advising people out there how to protect power cables, how to protect gas pipes. Right? I have to learn ways to find my own knowledge, to find my own sources of information, how I can better improve myself, how I can better represent myself in front of contractors, in front of principals, in front of consultants. That is on the part of the working place. At the union, there are a lot of guidance, there are a lot of courses you need to know. But what's key to me is the individual must find what he doesn't get from his mentor. He must find a way, he must find a kind of road through whereby I cannot get from this mentor, or I wouldn't know how to get it out from my mentor. Every mentor, they will try to teach as much as possible, but it will be in phases. But if you want to go the extra step, you always need to find the extra push in yourself. Then you can actually steer yourself to be someone a few steps ahead, not a few steps behind. Once we are a few steps ahead, we keep trying to ask ourselves, what can I do more? What can I do more? Because that will differentiate you between you and the group. If you keep following the same tone, and you will be in the same group together, and you won't be leading.
Wonderful. So, Mr. Samad, the world is changing, with the younger generation and with the whole influx of technology, right? The gadgets. Our youngsters are becoming, as this is, self-sufficient rather than looking around with its family, everybody sitting at the same table having dinner rather than sitting with our phones and having dinners. So, what is it that you would like to tell our youngsters, our youth of today, particularly in terms of ties to family, the importance of being with family and close to people who care for you?
Okay, notwithstanding we are exposed to the world with all this technology, internet, we must never forget two things, history and family, right? History to where we are today, why we are enjoying the success, the peacefulness of it, and family values. Family values matters a lot to me. Things will go away from you, but your family will never leave you behind. So always spend time, always make sure you have quality time with your family members. They are the one with you, especially your wife, your children, your siblings. If you don't find time with them, I can honestly tell you, you have far tough time at your workplace and even in the journey that you are in. Because that's how you actually manage your personal life first. If you don't have time for family, naturally there's a repercussion, I believe, that you will also not have time for your family, for your work and other areas. So in terms of family values, I always ensure that I have put aside days that I'll be away with them, go back after work, spend time with my wife, spend time with my children, talk about things, explain to them what is world like. The other one is, we must not forget the journey to where we are today. What happens to what you will see in Singapore today, the peacefulness, the transformation from a kampong to a metropolis, it is something that does not happen by chance. It takes effort from leaders, from workers, of them to actually slowly transform to what Singapore is today. And younger generations must be mindful of that. We just look around the neighboring countries in terms of political unsteadiness, in terms of war. We are very fortunate in Singapore, we don't have that at all. Right? But because we have a stable government, because we have a government and leaders that understands the importance of multiracial, multi-religious in the country and respecting each other's rights, respecting each other's common space. And that is where we are. So every young Singaporeans must know this. What you are enjoying today is the efforts and the work done by the leaders and the workers of yesterday. Who is going to enjoy tomorrow? It is the work that is going to be done by us today. That is working, that is our leaders in our own organization, in our own society. And we are the one that decide the kind of life, the kind of future we want for our young children, for our young students or young workers. You decide what is one. Don't be selfish. Just because what you have today, you demand more. What we have today is the efforts of yesterday. What we are going to give to the future is our efforts of today.
What a beautiful point. What a beautiful and wonderful point. Don't things for granted. Work for a better tomorrow as our ancestors did. That takes me to my last question, Mr. Samad, for the day. Is you have, again, through the journey, through the learnings, if you were sitting in front of today Singapore's youth, what would you tell them that the 3 lessons or 3 areas that you would do differently had you been in their shoes today?
Okay, I think what we as young Singaporeans, what we look today, we are worried of foreigners comes in, right? So as a young Singaporeans, we got to ask ourselves, is really that foreigners there coming in, or are we not willing to compete with the foreigners there? The kind of job, the kind of careers that we want. There are a lot of job opportunities. We shouldn't be looking at jobs taken over by foreigners. How many jobs are there that Singaporeans choose not to do? And then when foreigners takes over that job, and then we blame that they are not jobs enough for us. Always look at opportunities, always find the belief in yourself that you can aspire to be someone which is better than what the foreigners are. Which don't aspire, don't try to, we must not be living in a competitive world within our own peers. What we should build is actually a strong working family, a strong team, so that as Singapore we grow together. Do not just be into your I. It should be about we, because this is where we are today, and we have to have that kind of quality. Every one of us have our own strength. Let's not look too far. Look at our hands. We have 5 different sizes, 5 different lengths of fingers. Imagine if one finger is off, how does our hand actually function? So that should be how we do an analysis of life. Every Singaporean is unique, every Singaporean is special. Main important, continue to be humble, continue to learn new things, continue to make friends. Don't find enemies, whether it's foreigner or local or lowish. Everyone of Singaporeans, everyone that comes to Singapore, make them our friends. Do not make them enemies. When we are together, we can do more, we enjoy the common space, we enjoy success together. So if I were to be young today, yes, I will be worried, right? A lot of foreigners are coming in, but I should not take that as a point to actually stop myself from growing, because I believe the world today is full of opportunities. Example, working from flexible work arrangement or working from home. Can we now turn it to work from anywhere? Is there any opportunities globally that we can actually work from Singapore? So we should start to look at opportunities. How are we going to seize that opportunities? What are the measures that in place that make us to reach that opportunities? Maybe fast, even if it's slow, but we have to set ourselves a dream. I want to look at the opportunity. I want to seize that opportunity within my own capabilities. That is how we young Singaporeans should look at. I want to work hard. I want to live a future Singapore that is good for those who are going to be after me.
That is wonderful. I would just take a pause there, but I wanted to add another question actually about your journey. On the personal side also. I think the first question that I asked, we spoke largely about your progression on the professional side. So great. So Mr. Samad, to start off the conversation, we want to know who is Abdul Samad. We want to understand your journey. Where were you born? Where were you brought up? How has it been growing up to where you are today?
Okay, I'm 50 this year, right? I start from normal, livelihood Singaporeans who's there. I'm a father of 3 grown-up kids. One is 19, doing final poly studies. The other one just completed his national service passing out. And the eldest is now working as a lab assistant in the Sengkang hospital, whereby she do the test. Any one of us that goes to hospital, for sure you need to do a test, right? That's true. I have a wife who is supporting housewife. I don't call her a housewife actually. I call her a home and finance minister, because she takes care of my home and she also helps me to take care of my budget for the family. I started my journey in the neighborhood schools. I stand by what the government say, every school is a good school. I started my journey in neighborhood school in Michin Primary, which is located in the central. And then I follow up to a secondary school in Yusof Ishak Secondary School. What's unique about my secondary school, I was someone that was in dreamland, and in primary 6 I applied for Raffles Institution as one of my options to be going to secondary school. However, I didn't meet that to make sure that I go to RI, but I went to YI, Yusof Ishak Secondary School, another neighborhood school. And that is where I started my secondary journey. And that is also where my teacher identified me and gave me a opportunity to do a public speaking at the age of 15, asking me to speak in front of the whole school. And I remember the talk was about independent school. I was told me, what actually you want me to talk about independent school? So I can't actually remember. One of the issues I raised was about no smoking is allowed in an independent school. And this was in 1987. So I left Yusof Ishak, so I didn't go to RI, but I went to YI, but I still do well, right? So it does not mean that you need to go to a good school. So after I left Yusof Ishak, my O-levels, I went to Singapore Polytechnic, did my diploma in mechanical engineering, and I continued to where I am today. I still have not got my diploma, but I keep learning new things that can help me to grow as an individual, that can help me to grow as a worker and as a senior officer, which I am today. So paper is one, but it needs to be an enlightened employer to actually acknowledge your efforts, your performance, your contribution. So I can attest to the government that you don't actually need a paper, but maybe that's just a minor. In the future, maybe 5-10 years, we can see Singaporeans without any paper qualification can grow. But what we can learn, there are opportunities if I want to put in place. So this is where I am today, being a General Secretary of the Union, taking care of close to 6,000 workers in the power industry. And in 2015 earlier, I remember I was called up by one of the senior leaders if I want to be in the NTUC Central Committee. That wasn't in my mind at all, to be sitting at the highest level, right? And so I told him, okay, if that's what they want me, for me it's simple. I'm not into achieving so high, but I want to do my best every time. Giving the best that I can, whatever assignment is delivered to me, I want to do my best. But maybe I'm too humble, I'm just be wary of my expectation. Can I actually do that? But opportunities come to me and I make sure that I deliver with the trust that is given to me. So in 2019, goes to election again, I was being called by the side we want to make you Vice President of NTUC. I was totally in shock. I said, are you sure you want to make me Vice President? They say, yes. We want to make you Vice President of NTUC. I said, okay, fine, so with it. Then I became the Vice President. Then another big shock came in 2020, late 2020, when I was approached by NTUC Secretary General. We want to make you the nominated Member of Parliament. That was the biggest shock of my life. I said, are you sure you want to make me a nominated Member of Parliament? I don't have any degree, I didn't know, because you speak for the workers. So I said, okay, if that is the trust you give to me, then I'm willing to open up. So I thought after the submission, that's it, right? But didn't little come to my mind that I need to face 8 cabinet ministers to answer queries, to answer from them, what makes you want to be NMP? I say, no, I didn't want to be NMP, but I was assigned to be NMP, but I will do my very best. So they asked me a lot of questions. Imagine yourself, doesn't have that kind of high education level, facing with ministers of Singapore. There was 8 on the table, full ministers, notwithstanding one opposition MP, and you have 2, 3 new MPs that just joined on board. Yeah, but the truth to be said, I cleared that hurdle, and today that's what I am. The goosebumps of first time giving speech in Parliament still holds in me, and until today, I'm very happy, I'm very blessed that I can continue to give back to society. When people comes to me, I want you to do this. To me, that is opportunity. So in the world of Singapore, when they talk about minorities marginalized, I would like to diffuse that. It is not about minorities marginalized, but we as a minority must prove that we are a shining fish in a big tank. We are not just one of the fish in any tanks, but we must be a shining fish in a big tank. You can be small, it's okay, but you shine. But if you choose to be big, it's okay, it's up to you. But you must make sure that you are there, you deliver, and people always look out to you for assistance. Not look out to you to take photos. That's not in my mind at all. Look out to me, hey, can you help me in one area or two? Because but the challenge I face now, whenever I'm on public and public domain, inside TV, the next day I got to go around myself and make sure I can't use my mask so that people don't easily identify me. But I'm very fortunate, I'm very blessed until today that I'm given this opportunity in life to serve, to reach out to those who are in need, to serve them, and to provide whatever avenues and opportunities so that they can continue to enjoy what life is about.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It was very, very wonderful.